the unseen enemy, the spiritual warfare against the Nafs. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed. In the teachings of our faith, we often hear of a profound and a sacred struggle. It is a struggle that is not fought on a battlefield with swords and shields, but in the most intimate and a profound space of all, the human heart. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, upon returning from a physical battle, said, "We have returned from the lesser jihad to the greater jihad." When his companions asked what the greater jihad was, he said, "It is the struggle against the Nafs, the self." Today, we will embark on a deep and a methodical exploration of the unseen enemy, the spiritual warfare. Against the Nafs, we will go beyond the superficial understanding of the ego as a simple psychological concept and delve into its profound and a dangerous spiritual reality. We will uncover its tactics, its various stages, and the spiritual weapons that the Sufi masters provided us to win this most noble and most necessary of all battles. This is a lecture on how to turn our inner being from a source of a spiritual darkness into a source of a profound and a beautiful spiritual light. Part 1. The metaphysics of the Nafs. To engage in this spiritual warfare, we must first understand our enemy. What is the Nafs? In the Sufi lexicon, the Nafs is the lower self, the ego, the source of our desires, our pride, our greed, and our anger. It is not the same as the soul or the ruh. The ruh is the divine essence that is breathed into us, a pure and a sacred part of our being. The Nafs, on the other hand, is the spiritual battleground where the soul is in a constant struggle to return to its origin. The Nafs is not inherently evil. It is a part of the human constitution that, when left unchecked, becomes a source of profound and a spiritual corruption. It is the part of us that loves the temporal world, that is consumed by its desires, and that sees itself as separate from its creator. The spiritual journey is not a journey of destroying the Nafs. It is a journey of disciplining it, of purifying it, and of transforming it from a source of a spiritual darkness into a source of a profound and a beautiful spiritual light that serves Allah alone. The Sufi masters taught that the Dajjal, the great deceiver of the end of days, is not just an external figure. It is an internal reality. The Dajjal is a spiritual force that operates through the NHS to deceive the heart from the profound and a beautiful reality of its creator. The Nafs is the primary and the most powerful ally of the Dajjal in the spiritual world. The struggle against the Nafs is, therefore, not just a personal struggle. It is a profound and a cosmic struggle against the forces of deception and a spiritual corruption. Part 2. The 3 stages of the Nafs. The Nafs is not a static entity. It is in a constant state of a profound and a beautiful change. The Sufi masters classified the Nafs into 3 primary stages, each stage representing a different level of a spiritual awareness and a spiritual maturity. The first and the lowest stage is the Nafs al-Ammara, the commanding self. This is the Nafs that commands evil. It is the Nafs that is completely consumed by its desires, its passions, and its love for the temporal world. It is a Nafs that is veiled from the divine presence, a Nafs that is in a state of a profound and a spiritual darkness. This is the starting point for every human being. We are all born with a Nafs that has the potential for profound and a beautiful spiritual corruption. Spiritual journey is a journey of rising above this lowest stage and of seeking a higher and a more profound spiritual reality. The second and a more advanced stage is the Nafs al-Lawwama, the blaming self. This is the Nafs that is in a state of a profound and a beautiful awakening. It is a Nafs that still falls into error and a sin, but it is a Nafs that is self-aware. It is a Nafs that feels a profound sense of a regret and a remorse for its sins. This is the stage of the sincere, struggling believer. They have not yet conquered their ego, but they are in a state of a profound and an active spiritual struggle. They are constantly seeking forgiveness, constantly repenting, and constantly trying to rise above their desires. This is the stage of a profound and a beautiful spiritual hope, for it is in this stage that the heart is being purified and is being prepared for a higher and a more profound spiritual reality. The third and the highest stage is the Nafs al-Mutma'inna, the tranquil self. This is the Nafs that is at peace. It is a Nafs that is completely in submission to Allah, a Nafs that has been purified from its desires, its pride, and its arrogance. It is a nafs that is in a continuous state of a profound and a beautiful love for its creator. This is the nafs that the Quran addresses with the words, "O tranquil soul, return to your Lord, well pleased and pleasing to him." This is the goal of the spiritual journey, the ultimate and a perfect state of a spiritual purification and a spiritual peace. Part 3. The unseen tactics of the nafs. The nafs is a master of deception. It will not attack the seeker with a sword. It will attack them with whispers, with illusions, and with subtle and a profound spiritual traps. To win this spiritual warfare, we must be aware of its unseen tactics. The first and the most dangerous of these tactics is hypocrisy and self-immolation, or riya. The nafs will not tell the seeker to not pray. It will tell them to pray so that they can be seen by others. It will tell them to give charity so that they can be praised by others. It will corrupt the most beautiful and the most sincere of deeds with the poison of a pride and a self-immersion. The nafs loves praise, and it will use the most noble of deeds as a tool to gain the praise of the temporal world. The spiritual soldier must be constantly aware of this trap and must be constantly seeking a profound and a beautiful sincerity in all of their deeds. The second tactic is arrogance, or kibr. The nafs will make the seeker feel superior to others, even in their piety. It will tell them that they are a better person because of their worship, that they are more knowledgeable because of their ilm, and that they are closer to Allah than others. This spiritual arrogance is a profound and a beautiful veil that separates the servant from their creator. A heart that is filled with arrogance has no room for the profound and a beautiful grace of Allah. The spiritual soldier must be constantly seeking a profound and a beautiful humility, and a profound and a beautiful gratitude for the blessings of Allah. The third tactic is rationalization and self-justification. The nafs is a master of creating clever and a profound reasons to justify its desires and its sins. It will tell the seeker that a small sin is not a sin at all. It will tell them that their anger is justified, that their envy is a righteous emotion, that their greed is a natural and a beautiful desire for a better life. The nafs will use the most subtle and the most profound of illogical arguments to justify its spiritual corruption. The spiritual soldier must be constantly aware of this tactic and must be constantly seeking a profound and a beautiful honesty with themselves and with Allah. The fourth tactic is the whispers of shaitan verses. The whispers of the nafs. The whispers of shaitan are external. They are whispers that come to the seeker from the outside. The whispers of the nafs are internal. They are the commands of the ego itself. The nafs is the primary and the most powerful ally of shaitan. It is a spiritual bridge that shaitan uses to gain access to the heart. The spiritual soldier must be able to distinguish between these two whispers and must be constantly seeking a profound and a beautiful state of a spiritual awareness so that they can recognize the enemy within. Part 4. The spiritual weapons of Mujahada to win this spiritual warfare. We must be armed with the spiritual weapons of Mujahada, the spiritual struggle. The Sufi masters provided us with a profound and a powerful set of spiritual tools that are designed to weaken the nafs and to purify the heart. The first and the most powerful of these weapons is Dhikr, the remembrance of Allah. The Quran states, "Indeed, the remembrance of Allah is the greatest." The constant and a rhythmic remembrance of Allah is a spiritual current that purifies the heart and weakens the nafs. It is a spiritual medicine that heals the wounds of the heart and prepares it to be a pure and a deserving vessel for the divine light. A person who is in a state of a profound and a beautiful dhikr is a person who is in a continuous state of a spiritual warfare, a warfare that is fought and won with the light of Allah. The second weapon is khidma, or service. The nafs loves to be served, to be admired, and to be praised, the act of a profound and a beautiful service. To others is a direct and a powerful antidote to the poison of a pride and an arrogance. When a person serves others for the sake of Allah alone, they are actively working to weaken their ego and to purify their heart. Service is a spiritual practice that is designed to bring the nafs into a state of a profound and a beautiful humility and a profound and a beautiful submission. The third weapon is siyam, or fasting. Fasting is not just a physical act of abstention from food and a drink. It is a profound and a beautiful spiritual discipline that is designed to starve the desires of the nafs. The nafs is a slave to its passions, and fasting is the spiritual whip that is used to bring it into submission. When a person fasts for the sake of Allah alone, they are actively working to weaken the power of their ego and to strengthen the power of their ruh, their soul. The fourth weapon is khalwa, or solitude. The spiritual struggle against the nafs is often difficult to fight in the midst of the chaos and the distractions of the outer world. Khalwa is the tactical retreat, the spiritual seclusion that allows the seeker to isolate the nafs and to confront it directly. It is a time for a profound and a beautiful introspection, for a deep spiritual work, and for a direct and an unmediated communion with Allah. The Prophet, peace be upon him, engaged in khalwa in the cave of Hira, and this spiritual practice is a powerful and a necessary tool for the spiritual warfare against the nafs. The fifth weapon is muraqaba, or contemplation. This is the spiritual art of a watchful awareness of the present moment. The seeker sits in silence and observes the flow of their own mind, the whispers of their own ego, and the distractions of the temporal world. They do not try to control these thoughts, simply observe them, recognizing them for what they are, the phantoms of the nafs. This practice trains the mind to be still, to be present, and to be a witness to the profound and a beautiful reality of waqt time, the eternal now. Part 5. The Prophet's Victory. The embodiment of a conquered nafs, the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the ultimate and a perfect example of a human being who completely conquered their nafs. His life was a living and a breathing testament to the profound and a beautiful reality of a purified nafs. His lack of ego, his profound and an unending humility, his complete and an absolute surrender to Allah, and his profound and an unshakable love for all of creation are the goals of the spiritual struggle. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was a person who was so purified that his nafs was in a continuous state of a profound and an enduring tranquility. He was the living model of the nafs al-Mutma'inna. Every single thought, his every single word, and his every single action were a direct and a perfect reflection of the will of Allah. He was a person who was so purified that he was the most generous of all people, the most compassionate of all people, and the most loving of all people. His life is the ultimate source of hope that it is possible for a human being to completely purify their nafs and to return to their original and a pure state of a profound and a beautiful love for Allah alone. The Prophet, peace be upon him, showed us that the spiritual warfare against the nafs is not a battle that is fought for a prize. It is a battle that is fought for the love of Allah. It is a battle that is fought for the love of the truth. It is a battle that is fought for the love of the profound and a beautiful reality of the divine presence. Part 6. The nafs in waqt. The jihad of the present moment. The spiritual warfare against the nafs is not a battle that is fought in the past or in the future. It is a battle that is fought and won in the present moment, in waqt time, the eternal now. The nafs loves to live in the past, to replay the regrets of its sins, and to build its narrative of a separate self. The nafs loves to live in the future, to be consumed by its anxieties and its ambitions. But the spiritual struggle is fought and won in the present moment, for it is in the present moment that we have the power to choose between the divine will and the ego's desire. The spiritual soldier must be constantly present in the moment, must be constantly aware of the whispers of the nafs, and must be constantly seeking a profound and a beautiful sincerity in all of their deeds. Every single moment is an opportunity to choose between the spiritual darkness of the ego and the profound and a beautiful light of the divine presence. The mastery of waqt time is therefore not just a philosophical concept. It is a profound and a beautiful spiritual discipline that is at the very heart of the spiritual warfare against the nafs. The spiritual soldier is a person who is so present in the moment that they are able to catch the ego's deceptions before they have a chance to take root in the heart. They are a person who is so present in the moment that they are able to say no to the ego's desires and to say yes to the divine will. This is the profound and a beautiful reality of a life that is lived in a continuous state of a spiritual warfare. A life that is a continuous and a profound act of love for Allah. In closing, I invite you all to reflect on the state of your own nafs and to consider how you can begin to engage in this most noble and most necessary of all battles. Join us next time on Sufi Essence as we delve into another profound aspect of our faith.